blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
Welcome back to another inspiring episode of Moments with Myra. Today we are diving deep into a story of strength, resilience, and unwavering faith. My guest, Teresa Bristow, is a breast cancer survivor whose journey reminds us all that in the face of life's toughest battles, hope and courage will lead the way. Teresa's story is not just about survival, it's about thriving, healing, and using her voice to encourage others to never give up. In honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we're celebrating warriors like Teresa who continue to shine a light of hope for so many. So grab your seat, take a deep breath, and join me for this heartfelt conversation with Teresa Bristow as we talk about her journey, her faith, and the lessons she's learned along the way. Teresa, welcome to Moments with Myra. For those who may not know you, can you share a little about who you are and what life was like before your diagnosis?
My name is Teresa. I have two little boys that are 3 and 5 that I love to death. Those are my babies. They're always going to be your babies, especially when they get older. My life was very smooth and easy, had my kids, was working, everything before I found out about me having breast cancer, just living life to its fullest, still trying to live life to its fullest, actually. You have to do that. That's the first thing you have to do is live life.
Yes. And a lot of people may not realize it, but you hit the nail on the head when you said still living life to the fullest.
Yeah.
No matter how bad the days are, no matter how sometimes you don't feel well or you feel alone, because of those two boys, those babies, like you said, well, they're not babies, but they're going to always be.
Yeah.
For those two boys, if nothing else, you have to always stay strong. So I did want to ask you, honey, when did you first find out about your breast cancer and what was that moment like for you?
I found out October the 9th, 2024.
Oh, wow. So we just came up on a year.
Yeah.
So when you found out about it, what was your first thoughts? How did you navigate? What were you thinking during that time?
My first thoughts actually was my kids. And all when you hear the word cancer, it's like, man, what about my kids? That's all I could think about was what about my babies? I got babies to live for. I got babies, And they were actually there with me. Their dad and then was there with me when I found out about me having breast cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what were some of the first emotions or thoughts that you had other than your kids when you first found out about the diagnosis?
Just really scared, honestly, scared. And I'm still scared to this day, because I'm still doing a lot of things that I have to do to make myself healthy.
I understand. I'll share with you my story and the reason why breast cancer is so close to my heart and what led me to reach out to you to see if you would be willing to share your story. Several years ago, my friend, we were raised like sisters. Her name was Donis, and she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was angry and mad because here I was not living right as far as eating healthy and doing everything that I needed to do. But, she ate healthy, she exercised, she did everything that you were supposed to do or that they say you need to do to prevent yourself from getting it. And
Yeah.
so when she was first diagnosed, I was angry because I was like, okay, God, I'm not understanding, where did this come from?
Mm-hmm.
So going through with her with treatment and the ups and downs and everything, her feeling better, her not feeling well, you know what I'm talking about, how some days you feel like superwoman and like there's
Yeah.
nothing going on, and then there's other days when it's like, oh, I can barely make it. I can barely move. I can barely do anything, you know. So
Yeah.
I think that that's where it started. And then eventually, I have a history of being a caseworker. And
Mhm.
eventually, my journey in employment led me to work with the cancer center at Baptist Hospital. And during
Yes.
that time, when I was working at the cancer center, I met so many incredible and wonderful women. And I knew in that moment that the experience that I had with Donis led me to that moment to be able to be present for the women that I was serving during that time.
Yeah.
After they got their diagnosis, I was like the second person that they met, you know, after getting such devastating news.
Mhm.
And I was just thankful that I was able to have, you know, sympathy and be able to help them in the best way that I could, always thinking about my sister. So
Yeah.
then here I am, and I'm not going to tell you a lie, Teresa. I hadn't had my mammogram. After going through all of that with Donis, honestly, I was scared. I'm not going to
Mhm.
front. I was scared because when you see somebody go through it from beginning to end and all the ups and downs and stuff, I was terrified. And so here I am, girl, working in the cancer center. All I had to do was just go right around the corner to get my mammogram. And they was like, why haven't you had your mammogram yet?
Right.
And
Right.
so I was like, okay, really, it's no excuse. It's really, really no excuse. So I was like, okay. So I went to have my mammogram done and didn't think anything about it. And so a day or so later, one of the nurses came because they would just come and give us our letter instead of mailing it. She came and she said, well, if you have any questions, let me know. And so I was looking at her like, okay, like I know my mammogram's good, so why would I have any questions? But I was like, okay, you know, so I didn't open it up or anything because I just knew everything was fine. And honey, when I opened it up, Teresa, they had found 4 masses in my right breast.
Oh man.
Girl, let me just tell you, I was just devastated. I don't know any
Yeah.
other way to say it, but just pure devastation.
Yeah, it's like your whole body gets hot and you start sweating.
Yes. I mean, I don't wish it on anybody.
Me either. Me
So
either.
after I got myself together, and I'm not one to have a pity party about anything, you know. I'm very, very okay. I got to learn my steps. This is what I need to do.
Yeah.
What doctor do I want? All of this stuff. So that's what I was doing. I was in go mode. And, you know, my family and everybody was praying, and I was speaking healing over myself. And I share that with you because I'm a very spiritual person, and I believe in speaking healing over ourselves. You know, it's
Yeah.
when other people pray for us. I love it. I appreciate it. But there's nothing like you speaking, you know, healing energy over yourself. And so I started doing that. And the next week, I had to go for another 3D mammogram.
Hmm.
So I went for that 3D mammogram. And honey, when the radiologist came in the room, he sat down and he put the film up on the screen. And I was looking at it, and Teresa, I didn't bit more know what I was looking at than the man in the moon.
Right.
But I was looking at it, I was like, oh my God, you know, I could see the cancer. Girl, I wasn't seeing nothing. I didn't know what I was looking at. And so he slid up beside me, and then he said, I need to slide just a little bit closer. And I was like, what you
Right.
trying, you know, what you doing? Like, why are you trying to get all up in my space? What is it that you're trying to tell me? And he said, well, he said, 3 of the masses have disappeared. And I said, what?
Oh wow. That's
Yeah,
that's good.
3 of the masses had disappeared. And then I said, okay, so the last one that's left, what does that mean? And he said, well, the last one that's left still looks funny, but if it is, it would be stage 1. And I was like, okay, well, stage 1, you know, I can deal with that. I got it. And so I went through my biopsy and everything. And thankfully for me, everything came out okay. I didn't have
Hmm.
cancer and everything came out okay. But in that moment, I knew that the reason why I had to go through that journey was because I needed to be able to sit down with my patients during that time and truly understand what they were going through.
Yeah.
It's not just a matter of having empathy, but being able to understand, like you were describing, the hot feeling, the cold feeling, the feelings that you were feeling, and the range of emotions and stuff that you go through. And not one time did I ask why me. And so that's the reason why my journey, my sister's journey, I've lost 5 girlfriends to breast cancer. So their journey is the reason why I'm just it's breast cancer is just something that's so close to my heart. So women, just make sure, don't be like me and wait. Make sure that you're going to get, your mammograms and get checked, because you have to go through a lot as far as like your treatments and stuff, but there is hope, and there is, surviving on the other side of things. So I just wanted to share that with you and everybody else, and just again tell you thank you so much for sharing your story. So especially, honey, with everything still being so fresh, were there moments when you felt like giving up, and how did you find the strength to keep going other than just being there for your boys?
Definitely. Well, I lost my mom back in 2021 from cancer. And then I turned around and found out I had cancer in 2024.
I'm
So,
so sorry.
it's kind of me, still going for my mom also. So, and my dad passed from cancer. My stepdad passed from cancer a year later after my mom passed from cancer. My stepdad passed away.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I have to, it's me pushing for them, not just my boys also.
Yeah. So who or what has become your biggest source of support during the time? Family, friends, faith, community? Who have you been able to lean on? Not with just dealing with your diagnosis, honey, but even still reeling and going through the trauma of losing your parents, and that grieving process. So how is your support system?
My support system is great. I can't say I lean on my kid's dad a lot. He's like my best friend.
Good.
So he's been there with me. He was there when I found out. He was there for my first surgery. I had to do chemo. I had to do 25 treatments of chemo.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, I lost my hair, and that really took a loss on me too, because your hair is your hair.
Yeah. So what about your faith and your spirituality? How did that play a role in your healing process?
I would just sit and talk to God for a couple of minutes and just tell him to keep me strong, keep me going, keep faith inside me, heal my body.
And I feel like that's important. And another thing that I want you to do is an affirmation that my friend gave to me to use during that time. I was going through the waiting period to see what was going on with me, is I'm healed, I'm whole, and I'm complete. And I said it over and over and over so many times, honey, that I felt like some mornings I woke up and it was the first thing out of my mouth. So in those moments when you can't pray, or how sometimes you have so much on your mind, and even with prayer, you say, well, God, I don't have the words, but just listen to my heart. Just remember, I'm healed, I'm whole, and I'm complete. And I spoke that over myself. And even now I still speak it over myself, and it works. It makes a difference. It really, really does make a difference.
It does.
So many survivors talk about life before and after cancer. How did your outlook on life change after your experience of your diagnosis of cancer? Once you got through the initial, okay, this is what I have, how did your life change, or how did you start to look at things? Did you start to see things differently? Did you start to appreciate things more? What was your thought process?
I was always a person that looks at life, life is life. Things happen, and you just have to keep pushing and move on.
Mm-hmm. And so how did you, and how do you continue to care for your mental and emotional health while you're going through your treatment? Because I know you had said you did 25 rounds of chemo, and
Yes.
now you're doing your radiation.
Yes, I have 25 rounds of radiation also, and that is Monday through Friday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, honey, how are you keeping yourself above ground while you're going through radiation now?
I just make sure I get as much as rest as I can. Much rest.
And as far as your mental and emotional health, have you sought any counseling to help you through, or what are you doing about that?
No, I haven't. I have been told to try counseling, but that's was like, I don't want everybody in my I don't want, everybody in my business.
Yeah, I
So
understand.
I'm starting to, thinking about getting a journal and writing my thoughts and things down.
That was the next thing that I was going to suggest to you, because I'm a spiritual life coach also. And so I work with a lot of people, and a lot of people that be like, girl, I don't want nobody in my business. I don't want to be judged, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And I get it, because I was the exact same way. But I did end up having to go to counseling. And when I tell you, it was the best thing ever. But what I want to say to you is, do it when you're ready to do it.
Yeah.
Don't allow somebody else to force you to do it, because if so, you're not going to be open to the process.
Hmm.
Definitely one of the things that I talk to my clients about is journaling. And
Yeah.
at first they're like, Myra, I don't want to journal. I don't have nothing to say. Well, when you take that journal and you write down one thing positive about this is, a good day, let that be it, or this is a bad day, or whatever. And then every day or every time you pick up your journal, you just add another word or two or whatever. And it's such a blessing to you when you can go back and see you was having a rough time and where you ended up,
Yeah.
So I think journaling is a good idea for you. Were there any surprise blessings or new opportunities that you feel that's come out of your journey so far, since you're still on your journey to getting better?
Yes, I can say I go to the Cancer Institute by the mall,
Mm-hmm.
and those are some of the most nice, sweetest people I have ever met. The council services, those are some lovely people too. They have helped me get through a lot. They helped me out for Christmas and a lot of things.
Good. And I've heard a lot of good things about both of those agencies. And I know myself, one thing's for sure, working with people that are dealing with cancer, not just breast cancer, but any kind of cancer, you really, really got to have a heart for it. And you really, really got to be empathetic and love what it is that you're doing, because
Yeah,
it's a roller coaster ride.
it
One
is.
up, the next day you're down, you're mad, you're sad, all of these emotions. And you need somebody that's working with you and that's in your support system that's going to be able to understand that and not take it personal.
Yeah, yeah.
What you can do, girl. Teresa was acting funny.
Mm-hmm.
She called me today, and she didn't speak
Yep.
today, or whatever the case may
Yep.
be. No, boo boo, this is my time for me to be selfish, because guess what?
Right.
I got to take care of me first before I come
Exactly.
and check on you. So
Exactly.
I'm glad that you're experiencing a very good support system through cancer services and the other agency. Now, what message do you have for women who may be afraid to get checked or currently going through treatment?
Please go get yourself checked, because you never know. The cancer could be hiding anywhere in your body. Even if it's not breast cancer, it could be hiding anywhere. Anywhere. Please go get checked. I'm telling you.
That is so important. And you brought up a good point too, that the breast cancer could be hiding anywhere. And I know in my friend's case, in Donna's case, it started off as breast cancer. It
Yeah.
ended up in her liver. It ended up in her bones. I
Oh
mean,
man.
it can literally be anywhere. So early detection is best. So guys, don't be like me and wait. Now I go every year faithfully.
Yeah.
Once I was released from my 6 month where I had to get one every so often, for 6 months, then they released me to a year. So please make sure that you're going to do that. If not for yourself, then for the ones that you love.
Yes,
Right.
please.
So one thing that I wanted to know is, How are you using your story today to try to help or inspire others or encourage other people?
I'm actually documenting my cancer journey right now and just, posting it on anywhere I can, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Sometimes I do Snapchat, but I mostly post all my recordings and things on TikTok. That's where you can mostly find all, even from like the beginning, from me finding out to me having to cut my hair, chemo, surgery, radiation. I'm doing all that.
That's a blessing because a lot of people, I know some of my friends that are survivors as well. In the beginning, they didn't really want anybody to know. And while I get it, it's everybody's choice, but I really have to commend you for sharing your story because I truly, truly believe that sometimes we have to see people who look like us going through it.
Yeah.
You hear about all of these things on TV, online, and that kind of stuff. And so I think sometimes depending on the person that you see that's dealing with it, you're like, oh, well, she don't look like me. She not my age. She too young,
Right,
that
right.
whole thing. That's what gets us into a bind to where sometimes we can go and be diagnosed too late,
Hmm.
where it's a problem where it's started to metastasize throughout your body or whatever because you waited. If I can ask you, Teresa, and this is for the knowledge of everybody that's listening, how old were you, honey, when you were first diagnosed?
I was 33. I'm 34 now.
So see, a baby. 33
Yep.
is a baby. You could
Yep.
be a child because I'm 55. So yeah, 33 to me is a baby. And I'm so thankful for you and your journey. And we're going to trust and believe that after radiation, everything is going to be good and that you're going to be cured. And I pray not have to worry about anything else, for you, for your kids, and just for your family, because you guys have already experienced more loss than you ever in a million years should have. But here you standing
Yes.
strong, being a mom, doing everything that you need to do to take care of yourself. And I want you to continue to do that.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
for my final question, honey, if you could leave our listeners with one powerful message of hope, what would it be?
Just keep believing in God and keep faith and pray. No
Yeah.
matter what you do, pray.
And another thing, too, that I would like to add to what Teresa just said is enforce your boundaries. Keep your boundaries
Yes.
strong because people's audacity is at an all-time high. And the ones that you love, that you think care about what you're going through, honey, they don't care as long as you can still show up for them. So
Yep.
all those days when you're not feeling like yourself and you don't want to be bothered or whatever the case may be, or you just want to spend time with your kids, with your families, with your partner, whatever the case is, say no. No is a full statement. No is okay. Keep your boundaries strong. That's the most important thing. And this is just for everybody, not if you're dealing with cancer or any other illness, but just period, because people will try to take advantage of you and walk all over you.
Yep.
Teresa, thank you so much for sharing your heart, your strength, and your light with us today. Your story is a reminder that faith, love, and perseverance can carry us through anything. To all of our listeners, remember to take care of yourself, get your screenings, and never lose hope. Now, before I close out, Teresa, how are you listed on TikTok so that people can go and follow your journey?
It is Risa Bristow 0. I will actually send you my page so you can add it in there for me.
Oh, that will be perfect. Okay,
Okay.
so guys, you heard that. Risa Bristow 0 on TikTok. And then on Facebook, she's just under Risa Bristow. Correct?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we invite you guys to follow her journey as she continues her healing. Send her some inspiration, love, and prayers. And once again, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Moments with Myra. We appreciate your time. And don't forget, get your mammogram.
Yes, please go get checked, ladies.
Okay, girl, get it together. I'ma stand by your side. If it's trouble, I'ma ride. Gotta do it for the culture. Unity should coincide. Gotta do it for the culture. I'ma stand by your side. Gotta do it for the culture.
Who's a Jew and who's not? That seems to be the new topic. But I'd rather talk about who profits from violence on them singles you copping. Man-made holidays commonly deceive you in shopping. We in such pain, we seek out naproxen. Try to switch to PEA and doctors treat it like it's treason to stop it. Big Pharma feeling the karma. It's the season of logic and we waking up, clean the house, mentally steaming the carpet. This the reconstruction era, breathing the carcass. Read me the charges. Kyrie retweets an image and they're seizing his dollars. Stephen A says I'm loving this and he even hollers for stricter punishment. Oh, and Shaq, he's an accomplice, saying Kyrie should be suspended. Me being honest, media egregiously takes brothers, even hermanas, and pins them up against one another to feed the piranhas. I mean that Kyrie stormed the Capitol with thieves and Obamas. I'm watching all this happen at the crib in my pajamas like
I'ma stand by your side. If it's trouble, I'ma ride. Gotta do it for the culture. Unity should coincide. Gotta do it for the culture. I'ma stand by your side. Gotta do it for the culture.
Can I trouble you for a moment in time for us to huddle to? My people been through more ups and downs than the letter W. God, your people fell out of touch. We scared to summon you. We worship false idols that encourage us to be drug induced. The truth is hard to rebuttal, yay, so they muzzle you. Call you an unsolvable puzzle and they unpublish you. Try to make you earn approval with hurdles you jump into. But wait, make your decision like turtles, cause they can tug at you. But they know who you are, it's a power struggle and suppers do. Reclaim your seat at the table, pour you a cup or two. Take the largest portion of justice because they hunting you. Don't forget to finish that spinach dish in the supper stew. Leave the humble pie for the shot with the hitting colors too. Once you discover self with compass, you'll notice something new. They don't want you smarter cause all of it's meant to comfort you and keep you running in a virtual bubble that's puncture proof.
I'ma stand by your side. If it's trouble, I'ma ride. Gotta do it for the culture. Unity should coincide. Gotta do it for the culture. I'ma stand by your side. Gotta do it for the culture.
Dear LeBron, some say you the GOAT. I think that label's a joke for any human, cause every human's the greatest that's woke. So I'm confused by the words that you chose to use in your quote. You don't respect it, Brian, who you protecting? To not support the truth that your brother spoke is pathetic. I guess stealing people's identities copacetic. You act as if Kyrie is a random user on Reddit that posted a random documentary to say he said it. But when in contrary, he's been mostly prophetic. Especially with that jab that you took, do you regret it? You know how many adverse reactions needed a medic? Your boy Kyrie's with the ancestors comedic. They burned our temples, took our Papria's paper to shred it. And you ain't say a word when they called him anti-Semitic. Brown with everything else, you're so versatile and eclectic. John Sally stood up for Kai, your boy Shay Shay ain't expected, but
I'ma stand by your side. If it's trouble, I'ma ride. Gotta do it for the culture. Unity should coincide. Gotta do it for the culture. I'ma stand by your side. Gotta do it for the culture.